Welcome to midterms. So, you know what this means? We are that much closer to our finish line. And you'll get used to kind of like on Monday. Tonight is not going to be a very long session because it's already Thursday, which means you're that much more limited to get to your midterms. And so I really want y'all to have the opportunity to really take care of yourselves. I know that one person already messaged me and told me that they are working, so they're not going to be able to have their camera on. Make sure you guys just let me know because we do have a Kahoot game like right off the bat. Again, kind of like Monday. And then we have Quizlet and we're going to wrap it up. Okay. But the things about this midterm, your review is already up. So make sure you go and check that out. Remember, it's just a guide to kind of help you to focus as to kind of like where to study. Okay. Now, the chapters on the midterm, it's quite a few, right? Chapters 1 through 5, 8, well, actually 1 through 11. We just did them in a different type of order, but 1 through 11. Okay. So keep that in mind. There is a lot of material. And just break it down in small pieces. Don't try to go in there and try to study all at one time because it can cause anxiety for those of us that have test anxiety. Just kind of set yourself up if you haven't already started looking over the material and just break things down. It may be easier to go week by week, or since there are 11 chapters, it may be easy to go like, okay, this week I'll go, or this today I'll do chapters 1 through 3, or chapters, 5, 6, 7. And the biggest thing is to make sure you set yourself up for success, okay? Do not wait to the last minute to take these exams, y'all, because it's going to be really, really difficult if for some reason something happens. So ideally, we know that these midterms close at 11:59 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Ideally, you want to have that thing done way before the time expires. And let me explain to you why. Let's say you're like, okay, I got till midnight till 11:59. So I'm going to go ahead and do what I need to do. And then I'm going to try to tackle that task at like 9 p.m. on Sunday. And you're thinking, I have plenty of time in theory. However, something comes up and then something else comes up. And then now it's like 11:30 p.m. and you're trying to take that exam. And I'm going to let you know as soon as 11:59 hits, it's going to shut off. Okay, you guys. So just set yourself up for success. Why? Because this module, the ending is coming so fast. With that being said, if you are staying on top, completing everything, you're going to be okay. Okay. We have plenty enough time. If let's say you had a rough week, a rough couple of weeks, we've got 6 weeks left. So you can bring up your scores. And for those of you that are rock stars, keep it up. Okay. This program, I wouldn't say it's going to get tougher, but we're going to be adding on more information. We're going to be adding on skills. We're going to be having you in the lab. It's going to be different from learning about aseptic technique to be able to actually practice it and have hands on. It's going to be different from learning about decontamination, which is the very first thing you learn the first 2 weeks, to being in the decon room and actually using the materials to prevent patients from getting sick from the diseases that you're learning from in micro. Once you get to module 3 and module 4, you're going to see how it's all interconnected. I know right now you're like, I'm learning micro, right? I'm going to be learning pharmacology next module, but trust the process. It's all going to come together. And then you're going to be sitting back like, okay, I get it now. It makes sense. Okay. Like I said, right off the bat, we have our Kahoot game. Now, this one has 5 multiple choice and 5 true and false. Okay. If you are able to join, I'm looking to see. I know that another individual told me they're driving. You guys, please be careful when you're driving. I don't want anyone to get into any type, I'm not even going to say it because I don't want to put that out there, but just be safe, be careful. For those of you that are working, also be careful because I don't want you to get any type of trouble or anything like that. And I really appreciate you being here tonight. All right, let me see if I can. I think you guys are all able to join. Okay, with that being said, there are 18 of us. I'm looking to see who has on cameras. I will be reaching out to you if you do not have on your camera and you have not sent me a message. Keep in mind that your professionalism scores, there's a lot of you guys. I am completing them, so you should be seeing them by the end of the week. Ideally, I wanted to have them done as you finish your midterms, but there is a lot of you all between the other classes. So show me some grace because you will start to see them. But keep in mind, camera participation plays a big part, okay? And it's more than just having your camera, it's also participating, all right? And you probably hear my pup in the background. I apologize. She is off the chain this evening. It's like she knew. So she decided, I'm just going to cry in the background. And I had to put her in a crate just so you guys know, so she wouldn't be jumping all up in the screen. All right, we have 11 in. I know 2 definitely will not be able to join us. So I'm looking for at least 5 more to join us so we can go ahead and get started and get you guys out of here so you can get some well-deserved rest.
I have a comment. Professor, I took the test from the last class, the midterm, and I did notice that when I did it, I feel very proud because I did it right after class and I did really good.
Awesome.
But I did notice that I have a lot of repeated questions
Okay.
throughout the test, and I'm not sure if that was supposed to happen or not, but I did notice that I have a few questions that were just repeating.
From word or different concepts?
No, the same
Okay.
question, the same answer.
Okay. I will check, but we're going to take the win this time. And then I'll check for your final just to make sure that doesn't happen. But we're going to take the win this time. So good job on that.
Okay.
Thank you for letting me know.
You're welcome.
All right. Okay. We're going to go ahead and start. Now, for those of you who were not able to join, you guys know you can go ahead and still put in the letter, or the color, in the chat box, and that'll work just as well. So true and false, 5 seconds, and I think multiple choice is 10. I know that's really fast. I thought I had slowed it down. For anyone that is going to use this, I will have it slow down for you guys, okay? But the actual answer is false. Good job. Good job. Okay, next question. I think the idea was to get you guys in and out. All prokaryotes lack a nucleus and membrane. Mound organelles. Prokaryotes, okay? Prokaryotes. That is true. Your eukaryotes are the ones that have the nucleus, membrane, the organelles and everything, okay? So this is all about muscle memory. Go with your instincts and pick which scientist is known as the father of microbiology. The father of microbiology. 10 seconds. Don't stress, but move fast. Louis Pasteur. Okay, Louis Pasteur. I'm trying to say it all fancy. Okay. Another true or false. Microbiology is the study of organisms too small to be seen with the naked eye. True or false? And that is true. Okay. Kind of like micro, think of it as super small. So if something's super, super small, 9 times out of 10, you're going to need a microscope. Okay. What structure allows bacteria to survive extreme conditions? Endospores. Which fungal infection affects the skin, hair, and nails? Skin, hair, and nails. So dermaphytosis. Dermaphytosis. Okay, dermaphytosis. I had to say it multiple times to get it out. True or false? Remember, that's 5 seconds. Vectors like mosquitoes can transmit parasitic diseases to humans. True or false? That is true, and you guys were on it. Good job. Another true or false? Viruses can replicate outside a host cell. True or false? That is actually false. They need the host to be able to get in there and do what it needs to do. Number 9. Which microbial growth phase has the highest reproduction rate? Remember, it's the highest. That's when they're in there and they're partying, they're doing their thing. It is the log phase. That's where the party is going on. Okay. Then they go to stationary, and then the party's stale, everybody's leaving. And that's when the party dies. Okay. That's the death phase. So it's like you're logging into the party. So the party's jumping. And number 10, what type of genetic transfer involves a virus moving DNA between bacteria? So it's moving it. And that is transduction. Okay, transduction, which is red. Good job. Okay, let me make sure I get you guys this. And I just realized that if you put it like there's a private section, so I will make sure that it's not on private. So thank you for letting me know. I always have to give my flowers out because we are actually one team. So thank you. So I'll make sure that it's not on private so that when you guys get it, you guys can kind of just go. Okay. Use this as another resource. All right. We're not done yet. Almost. Almost done. Now I have 10 poll questions. For everyone that's here this evening, you have them. For those of you who are watching, I got you too. Don't worry. So, what I'm going to do is there are 10 questions. Okay. For those of you who are here and are able, you can go ahead and start working on them. For those of you who aren't, you'll have 2.5 minutes per slide. So, the very first slide is the first, I think, set of questions. And then in about 2 minutes, I'll switch to the next set of questions. And then there's just 2 left. For those of you who are here, you guys may go ahead and start. Once we're about 70%, 70 to 75% complete, I'm going to go ahead and bring us all back. Okay. Take your time. Think like this is the exam. What I try to do is grab concepts that I have seen that may have caught like prokaryotes versus eukaryotes, right? It's not going to be stuff, it's not going to be actual questions from the exam, but they're going to be concepts like you may particularly see during the midterm exam. Okay. So go in it with that mindset like, okay, this is like my warm up. All right. And I will be back when we're about 70%. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and in the poll, I'm going to share the results and show the correct answers if it shows. Okay, so for those of you who are watching, you'll have the same opportunity. If you'd like to send me what you got, and then I can kind of break down what what you marked down. Okay. For those of you who are here, you already see. All right. Again, use this just as an additional resource. The biggest thing is taking that midterm with a clear mind and try not to stress. That's the biggest thing. Okay. Because at the end of the day, you've been here before. You're in module 2. This is not your first midterm, and you wouldn't have made it here had you not passed your final for module 1. Okay, so walk in there with that confidence like you got this. This is something that you really want. All right. This is our wrap up. I know, not long, but there is a method to my madness. Now for those of you that are watching the archive, I have a couple questions, really one. I am interested in everything that we have covered in micro thus far. What 3 chapters stood out to you the most? And explain to me why. It could be that the chapter itself just completely frustrated you to I really enjoyed and I learned a lot. Or it could be something in between. But let's talk about it in the discussion forum. Again, you guys keep calm and good luck on your finals. Now, midterms has 60 questions. There is 44 minutes and 6 seconds to complete them. You have this, you've got this. I want to say good luck, but I really want you guys to walk in there with confidence because you know it. Trust yourself and do not second guess. All right. With that, what questions do you have for me? Looking to see, looking to see. I see heads shaking. Okay. Now, if anything does come up between now and your midterm, reach out to me as soon as possible. If something happens to your system, your computer, you get sick, you stub your toe, and it causes you not to be able to take your midterm, not the toe, but you guys get what I'm saying. Let me know. Reach out as soon as you can because the sooner that we can take care of it, the sooner I can let Ms. Shrooms know and the sooner that we can get you on track. It's harder when we find out afterwards because then it's like, provide this, provide that, blah, blah, blah. But if you can let us know sooner rather than later, it does make it a lot easier. Now, keep in mind, we know life happens, but in the operating room, the sooner something happens, as soon as you tell the surgeon, because then at the end of the day, it's all about the patient. Take that mindset, start that mindset now, okay? Because then it's going to be easier once you get to module 3, once you get to module 4, you're in the lab, you're in the clinicals, you're sitting for your CST exam, and you're walking into the door as a certified surgical tech for your first job, okay? So keep that mindset. With that, that's all, folks. You guys take care of yourself. If you need me, you guys got my tags, you got Moodle. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Have a wonderful weekend. Be safe. And I look forward to seeing everyone in next week's live session. Oh my gosh, it's week 6. That's crazy to me. All right. Good night, everybody.